Papa Tango Delta Romeo Whisky Torre de Jacarepaguá, ventos calmos, pista 3 liberado para decolar.
American 35, taxi to runway 10 right via Tango November Tango, Quebec Juliet. Contact tower on 119.3 when ready for departure.
JetBlue 84, copy, welcome to Orlando. Have a good evening.
American 1221, PG Indianapolis, sender, roger. JetBlue 84, turn left heading 100 vectors for the runway 23 approach. Contact Orlando Tower on 118.45 when established on final.
3-1, Sierra Mike understood. Continue present heading until established on the localizer for runway 26 left approach.
Rouge 596 Montreal Tower, wind 080 at 7 runway 6 right, cleared for takeoff. Fly runway heading until reaching 1000, then on course. JetBlue 2984, Orlando Tower, winds calm. Runway 18 right, cleared to land. Skyhawk 7774 Juliet Langley Regional Tower, winds 233 at 9 runway 7, cleared for takeoff departure to Trinity.
Delta 2259er pushback and engine start approved. Report when ready for taxi. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu cleared to land runway 35, winds 273 at 16. 570 Salt Lake Center, I'm not seeing your transponder. Confirm squawking 1742 mode C. Ident one more time for me. 570, welcome to Glacier. Contact ground on 121.6.
Piper 555, November Sierra, New York approach. Good evening, Farmingdale altimeter 2974.
Citation 972 Mike Kilo Rio ground taxi to holding point runway 20 left via Bravo, hold short of runway. Information Kilo is current. Report when ready for departure. Delta 2259er, contact tower on 118.9er when ready for departure.
Golf Mike Mike. After departure, climb and maintain altitude 3000, turn left, heading 270 degrees.
2EJ 9er 5, Charlie, climb and maintain flight level 150, squawk 5224.
Delta 2259er contact Varna approach on 124.6. Allegiant Air 396 cleared to Cincinnati via the ended 1 departure, then as filed. Maintain 4000, expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.3, squawk 4523. Expect runway 18 for departure.
Papa Tango Delta Romeo Whisky Torre de Jacarepaguá, ventos calmos, pista 3 liberado para decolar.
American 35, taxi to runway 10 right via Tango November Tango, Quebec Juliet. Contact tower on 119.3 when ready for departure.
JetBlue 84, copy, welcome to Orlando. Have a good evening.
American 1221, PG Indianapolis, sender, roger. JetBlue 84, turn left heading 100 vectors for the runway 23 approach. Contact Orlando Tower on 118.45 when established on final.
3-1, Sierra Mike understood. Continue present heading until established on the localizer for runway.
Hello, everybody. So, can you believe that we do this thing every single week? I was sitting there getting this stuff ready, and it's so funny because every time I start, writing out the content for this thing before I think, man, I don't know if I've got that much to cover. And then when I start going back through, the notes for the week and the stuff that we've been working on and the change logs and things like that, I'm like, wow, we have way more stuff to talk about than we have time for. So it's and it's funny. You would think I would learn my lesson, but it literally happens every single week. So here we are. Welcome. It's not Thursday. It's Friday. I always reserve the right to move it by one day if we need to, mostly because was very caught up with some other issues and bugs yesterday and needed to move it to today to buy a little time. So this always takes a back seat to major issues and things like that. Yesterday we had some ATIS issues that we did get sorted out and everything is good now, but glad that you guys are nice and flexible and willing to, sort of roll with it when we move things around a little bit. So thank you. Appreciate it. We have a ton of cool stuff to talk about today. Lots of things going on in the world. By the way, let me get rid of my, I have a little debug feed going on here that I usually keep open all the time, and I need to close it because it's very distracting right now. All right, let's dive into what we want to talk about today. One second, let me go pull up my thingy here, and let's talk about what's new, the usual slide here. First of all, 41 bugs fixed in the last 7 days, most of them ATC related. Just a friendly reminder that air traffic control continues to get the vast majority of the time and attention of our dev team. So, any concerns that, we have all of these ancillary features. We have a lot of them, that those are distracting us are, in my opinion, highly misplaced because we spend just the vast majority of our time working on, the core operating. By the way, I just want to start before we really get into this. If your, questions that you want to type in the chat room, if you've got questions for us specifically, I'm very, very happy to answer them. If they are feature requests, like can we get the option for the flight crew to use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius? First of all, they should already be doing that, so that's technically a bug. Please post them in the appropriate place on our Discord. If you're looking for support, if you've got a problem, if something's not working right, this is the wrong forum for that. We're not going to be using a live video cast to talk about that stuff. So if you have small feature requests like a transparency slider for the UI or a bug report about flight crews or anything similar, if you could please just use the appropriate channels for that. I'm happy to talk about questions about what we're working on, what we're doing, things like that, but this is the wrong place for support or minor feature requests, okay? But keep the questions coming in the chat room. I'm very happy to answer them. Okay, so lots and lots of bugs fixed. And again, core offering is getting the vast majority of our time. One fun thing that we've added is that enforcement around ATIS is now being ramped up. We have some exciting things in there that are now, doing a much better job at detecting ATIS enforcement. I'm surprised that the vast majority of our pilots don't actually ever listen to ATIS, which surprises me a little bit, but at the same time, I guess I get it because I get lazy too. So, look for ATC to get a little more cranky if you're not reporting the correct ATIS letter and things like that. We do have something new in addition to student pilot mode that we're going to talk about today. We also have strict readback enforcement is now available on any server, not just the experimental server. Those of you, if you want more information on that, take a look at the vectors to final that we did last week, and you'll learn a lot more about that feature. Also worth mentioning, all airports now have a CTAF frequency. The reality is that many airports, especially those outside the U.S., smaller airports, don't have published CTAF frequencies. So it works very similar to the way it does in the U.S., where if there is no published CTAF frequency, you're expected to use a certain frequency, and it's different in each country. We've modeled this fairly well at this point. The different countries and regions now should have the correct CTAF frequencies. We should show them correctly in the frequency box, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a nice little update. Copilot is progressing nicely. Most of the bugs are worked out. We've still got a handful left that are, still need some work there. What we're doing with Copilot is not done by anybody else in terms of the expansiveness of the capabilities of the Copilot. But I anticipate having the remainder of those bugs worked out here within the next 3 to 4 days, and I would anticipate that we will have it available on our primary server, not just the experimental server, sometime in the next 7 days. So keep an eye on that one. One other little feature I added that's been heavily requested is the cabin crew voices sound slightly different now when they talk to you versus when they talk to the passengers. Didn't really want to go for the muffled sounds and things like that because, our cabin crew voices are phenomenal and people like to hear them. But there is now a very distinct difference in the way the voice sounds when they're talking to you versus when they're talking to the passengers. That's a nice little update that we've added there as well. Congrats to Mr. Kodiak on being the winner of the Shoot Your Shot contest for August. Look at this beautiful, beautiful photo. I love this. The sun is in just the right spot. I love the ground crew hanging out outside the airplane. Congratulations, Kodiak. You've earned 2 free weeks. And for anybody else that wants to participate in the Shoot Your Shot contest, if you submit a photo of an airplane with the SayIntentions livery around it, by the way, there are tons of them now. We have tons of liveries available for download on our website. And we pick it as the coolest photo of the month. You win 2 free weeks. So absolutely love this photo. And Donald, thank you for the comments on Copilot. You said, Copilot feature is awesome. Didn't think you would like it as much as you do. I want to mirror that statement, actually. I just like all these features. There's probably been 4 major features in the history of SayIntentions that when initially proposed by our customers, I kind of pushed back pretty hard and said, gosh, I don't know if that's within the spirit of realism or the spirit of immersion or the spirit of, what we're trying to do here. And, I had good reasons for pushing back on all of those. I had good reasons for pushing back on Copilot. And in all of those cases, I was wrong because once we had finished the implementation and I used it the first time, I had that moment where I went, okay, this is actually really cool, right? This is neat. And as I have many times in the past, had to eat a little bit of humble pie once it was done and realized that as always, you guys are right. And I'm always glad when we decide to listen to you guys and give it a go anyway. So, yeah. Copilot is funny, Mr. Joe. You said, are people expecting too much from Copilot? Yeah. Yes, people are. Copilot can't fly your plane. It's not going to handle your checklists. We've thought about maybe venturing into that world, but it would have to be a completely independent product with a completely independent development team if we decided to do that. The feature expansive... The expansiveness of the feature set needed in order to really pull that off and do it in a way that would serve our brand well would require months and months and months of work and require a dedicated development team to pull that off. So, no, we have no plans to do that right now. And if we did, like I said, it would be a separate product that we would sell, separately. And that's a someday thing, right? So for right now, really, the sweet spot for Copilot is... just handling things when you're at cruise. Other than that, come on, guys, you bought an ATC product. You probably want to talk to ATC. So, do that. Talk to it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. And this is actually a really cool little add-on. But before we get into that, one thing I want to talk about is there's been an incredible update in the AI industry, which is that the number one AI voice provider, a company called ElevenLabs, has dropped their voice prices by 50%. We're going to talk about this for a second. By the way, we're not dropping our price in response to this. I'm going to explain why. But this is really, really, really big. By the way, ElevenLabs is the voice provider that's used by, pretty much all of the AI voices that I've seen in the flight sim community that are out there being used right now are all from ElevenLabs. So what this means is a whole bunch of interesting things. The first one is, and I want to, just have an open conversation about this for a second, but when we launched features like cabin crews and tour guides and all of these things, they posed a really interesting operational problem for, it's cut off on the right side. Oh yeah, it is. All right, hang on. Let's see if we can, it's just too darn big. All right, hang on. We'll get this fixed. There we go. Nothing like fixing things in real time here. There we go. Much better. Thank you for mentioning that. The introduction of things like cabin crews, tour guides, and more, they proposed a really interesting operational problem for SayIntentions, because when we launched this stuff, it was kind of done on a wing and a prayer that the cost of the underlying voices and the underlying AI pinnings would get cheaper. Otherwise, the cost to run cabin crew, for example, the cost to run tour guides and things like that were frankly, really painful for us. But they add such an element of immersion that we didn't want to, fix that. We didn't want to raise prices. We didn't want to do any of that stuff, right? So we kind of launched this stuff on the idea of saying, well, we'll eat it for now, and at some point these voices are going to get cheaper, and we'll probably be okay. Turns out we were right. The voices are now cheaper, 50% cheaper, in fact, which is that's a gigantic price drop. By the way, the introduction of traffic makes this problem even worse, because you can imagine that as we're paying, for this unlimited use of these premium voices for our customers, once you add traffic, just adding 10 airplanes or 15 airplanes or something to an airport increases the cost of the voice generation by 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15x, right? It's massively expensive. So traffic actually makes the situation even worse, and we're very excited to get that price discount to go along with that. But imagine a scenario where you're paying for the word or the letter of these premium voices, and suddenly you introduce traffic. I mean, imagine what that would do to the price that you're paying, right? You're used to paying one price for the voice, and now if you're paying a usage-based fee on those voices, and you add traffic, and you've got 15 airplanes around you, your cost for those voices just goes up by 15x, 15x. That's insane. That's a crazy amount of money to pay, to hear those voices. We've been worried about this as well. This has been, a big point of concern for us, which is, as we add traffic, how the heck are we going to pay for this? How are we going to do this without raising our prices? And we've been very committed to not raising our price to bring these features in. So this price drop is a big deal. I'm very, very, very excited that we now have a mechanism to do this. And I'm very excited for the flight sim community in general about this drop, because it means that we're all going to get access to this stuff in a much more economical way. So it's very exciting. So this for us is great news. It's right on time. And we plan to take these savings that we're getting on the voices now and roll those over to enhance the cabin crews and cover the massive additional costs needed to bring traffic to life. So very exciting, right on time. This means that we will not have to raise prices in order to bring traffic to everybody, and we can continue to provide, one base cost for an all-you-can-eat premium voice model. Very exciting, and it really puts us in the driver's seat here. All right, let's talk about feedback scores. How are we doing? I've switched to only reporting these numbers once a month because the week-to-week movements aren't that significant, but it's the beginning of the month. So let's talk about it. Over the last 7 days, by the way, for those who don't know, at the end of each flight, we pop up a little thing that allows people to take a little survey. And the survey basically asks them to rank each portion of their flight on a scale of 1 to 10. And then it finally asks them to rate SayIntentions on a scale of 1 to 5. So, yeah, you can imagine how financially demanding Janet can be. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, really cool. Let's talk about these scores. I watch these scores very carefully. They're kind of my personal report card, and they're the report card that I hold, myself and the entire team accountable to. How are we doing at making sure that we're providing, one, really good value for your money, But 2 is the product improving. Are we really getting better? And are people noticing that we're getting better? So, first of all, IFR flights over the last 7 days, our score is now an 8.3 out of 10. We finally crossed over to that 8.x marker, and I'm really, really excited about that because up until, last month we were hovering around 7.8, 7.9, et cetera, and we just couldn't break into the 8s. We've done that now. We don't have a single day now where the scores don't average over 8. So that's a wonderful, wonderful win for us. By the way, if you look at the reasons that people are not scoring their IFR flights higher, many times they're actually quite funny, and we all get a little bit of a chuckle over it when, people say things like, well, I didn't like that it gave me a shortcut because I had to reprogram my FMC, or I don't like that it closed a runway because I had to reorganize my whole flight, or it gave me a vector, but it took me in a way that I didn't want to go, or gosh, I fly into this airport all the time, and this one time I flew in, it slowed me down for something, et cetera, et cetera. And I look at all of those and go, those are all amazing reasons to use SayIntentions, right? And so it's funny that we have some people who give us low scores either because they don't understand how the procedures really work. For example, we got a very low score the other day because someone was in the U.S. and didn't get an automatic handoff to tower when they were on the ground. Doesn't work that way in the U.S. So we find that the vast majority of the low scores that we get now are from people who either don't understand how real air traffic control procedures work, or they are upset at the dynamic nature of our AI. Guys, I will take both of those problems. Those are very exciting things, and I love it, and really, really happy with those. If those are the reasons we're getting low scores, I'm super happy. That said, I'd still love to get this to a 10, and we have some plans to move us that direction. VFR flights, we're now at an 8 out of 10. No question. By the way, this is very region specific. In the U.S., our VFR flights are well over a 9. In Europe, they're probably a little under a 7. We've got a lot of work to do with European VFR. So the VFR experience very much depends on what region that you're in. So, we take this with a grain of salt as well. SayIntentions overall score, 4.7 out of 5. That's up 5% from last month. Look, all we care about is that those scores continue to move up. We want to keep doing better. We want to make sure that we keep giving you good value for your money. We want to make sure that you continue to feel like this is a massive enhancement to your flight sim experience, not a small add-on, not a little thing. We want our stuff to be at that level where you just don't want to fly without it. And I know it's there for me. I can't stand being in the flight simulator without our stuff. It's very boring. And we want that same experience for everybody. All right, new mode. This is so cool. So in the past, we've kind of had this student pilot checkbox where you could check that student pilot checkbox and it would do some additional things to help you out. Well, we've decided now to take that to the next level. And this new mode I call realistic mode. It's actually called authentic mode. Sorry, the title of the slide is wrong. Authentic mode. So now we have student pilot mode, standard mode, and authentic mode. Okay, what's authentic mode? Well, let's start with student pilot mode. If you have it set, by the way, this is live now. This is in version 2.2703, and this is in the miscellaneous tab of the settings. You've all got this already. It's already out there. So student pilot mode, just like before, ATC will speak a little bit slower. It's a little more verbose. There's really don't have a strict ATIS enforcement. And there's a few other little things in there. And this includes, as you all know, that frequency box, ATC conversation logs, the flight status data. All of that is available in student pilot mode, right? And we have a lot of people who prefer to fly in student pilot mode. And by the way, there's no shame in that. We also have standard mode. This is what a lot of you guys fly in, which is ATC speaks at a normal rate. ATIS is enforced, and you still have that frequency box and flight status box and the conversation history with ATC. However, we have one new mode, and we're calling it authentic mode. And this is where you get to level up a little bit. This is where you get to really say, no, I'm ready to fly like a real pilot flies. And In authentic mode, all of these non-realistic and immersion-breaking helpers are gone. And guys, let's be honest, having that comm panel open in front of you while you're flying, that is an immersion killer. And one of our design principles from day one has been we want people to be able to put that thing away, hide it, and do an entire flight without looking at it even once. You shouldn't have to click on anything. You shouldn't have to see it. You shouldn't have to have it there. So starting now, we're making that an option for you that you can actually force yourself to do by turning on authentic mode. What does it look like? Just like that. I love this. It's all gone, you guys. The frequency box is gone. The flight picture status is gone. The comm history is gone. If you need frequencies, use your charts. You need help with taxi, use your airport map. You need to remember something, you probably ought to write it down. ATC's talking too fast, you can still ask them to say it again slower. But most importantly, you handle the comms, right? That's authentic mode. When you're at that point where you say, you know what, I want to see what it's like to be a real pilot doing ATC, turn on authentic mode and you'll be good to go. And this is actually really cool. Does say again work in all modes? Yes, you can use say again in all modes. You can say again slower, et cetera, et cetera. All of that works in all modes, yeah. This is the way that you sort of force yourself to that next level. And by the way, taxi... Yeah, so taxi arrows are gone. The frequency box is gone. The follow me cars are gone. That's not really that realistic in real aviation. Only a couple airports in the world have those. And they're not for you, right? They're not for normal pilots. They're for other situations. So all of this puts you in a mode now where there's nothing to see in this app. Put it away. And, you know, we all talk about how we want more immersion, more immersion, more immersion. Guys, this is how you get it, right? Does authentic mode force readback? No, but you can level yourself up. If you want that, disable auto-tune, turn on strict readback enforcement, and now you're at kind of the highest level of immersion possible, right? The highest level of realism possible. So all there, this is so cool. I want to start hearing, you guys on our Discord reporting back that you are flying in this mode, and come tell us what you think. This is truly a big deal. So you should be able to use your charts and everything. By the way, yeah. So Morsi, if you're using the Navigraph charts and the frequencies, say nobody's listening, please report that to us. That's a bug. That's very, very, very unusual because we use the Navigraph frequency database. So that would be an exceptionally unusual situation. If the frequency works in real life, it should work in SayIntentions. If that is not the case, come report it as a bug. Possibility to give comms to the co-pilot on authentic mode? No. The reason for that is because we want you to handle the comms. And let's be honest, when you're in a flight simulator, your workload is... Realistically, the reason there's two pilots in an airliner is because one pilot is cross-checking everything, and in the flight sim world, we don't necessarily need to do that. So, no, in authentic mode, you have to handle the comms on your own. A few other things that we're working on right now. Traffic aware, ATC, and basic traffic injection. You know, it's funny. Recently, the flight sim world is just in the last little while come alive with some advancements here where there's some other ATC providers that are now providing some traffic. Look, we've looked at it closely. We get it. It's super cool. I will say this: the stuff that we have is very much on par with what you see out there now. Our concern and the reason we don't release it like this is because we feel like the situation that's out there now, the stuff that we have now, would be an absolute immersion wrecker, right? It's pretty rough. We don't consider it production ready. We don't consider it cohesive to our brand, and we feel like it needs a lot more work before that's really ready. By the way, I want to mention, I want to go back for just a second to the Copilot and the authentic mode. The reality is that when you're sitting there at cruise and you're just flying along at cruise altitude, your workload is almost zero, right? Those Copilot, in real life, in a real airplane, you got two pilots sitting there at cruise. All they're doing is chatting with one another. So, the idea that you can't handle a handoff is very strange to me. I might come around on this. I might change it. I don't know. Look, if you don't like it, don't use it. Nobody's forcing you to flip to authentic mode. But I do find it funny that, our ego wants someone else to handle the comms. No, you handle the comms. You're a pro. We're trying to level up here. We're trying to be a big, awesome, tough pilot, right? That means that you get to handle the comms. Realistic mode in the comms wouldn't be very interesting if you could just turn on realistic mode and then do nothing, right? So it's such a strange request to me. I want ultra realistic comms, and then I don't want to actually do anything on the comms. Look, you can have that. Just put it in student pilot mode and let the Copilot handle the comms. That's basically what you're going to get there. All right. So, the traffic aware ATC basic injection, look for some things soon. We just don't want to show what we have now because it's, like I said, it's not ready. Other things here on this list, terrain awareness, lots of bug fixes. We're also working on true pop-up IFR and ad hoc IFR flight planning, which will be very cool. And one more thing for everybody, and this part is super duper duper cool. Handoff to Copilot allowed after X flight level suggestion. All right, guys, I don't get it. You're at cruise. There is no workload. If you're in realistic mode, there's nothing. There is no. What an immersion killer, right? I don't get it. Okay, well, I'll think about it. But again, I want to reiterate: if you don't like it, don't use it. This is literally turning things off that you already have. So feel. All right. OMG, Edson, I'm calling you out, man. There is no reason you can't go take a bio break or have lunch and come back to your sim. We don't cancel your flight if you don't respond to a comm, right? We don't do any of that stuff. You can walk away. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, right? You can have the Copilot off and you can walk away, and you can walk away for an hour and then come back and your flight is still just fine. It's okay. Has someone hurt you? Has someone canceled your flight midair because you walked away for 5 minutes? Because we won't do that to you. We love you. All right. I'm sorry. I'm dying here. I want it to be really authentic, but I don't want to do any of the comms. Who hurt you people? All right. Let's keep going here. I have our one more thing for you this week. Here we go. This is actually really exciting. We talked a few weeks ago about CPDLC and ACARS, and it was kind of a look, it's coming, and we're trying to get some people on board and all that stuff. Here it is. It's done. It's ready. It's live. And guess what? You can use it right now, today. Right? Cool. Yeah, by the way, backcountries and pilot. Yeah, Microsoft's ADC will cancel you if you don't respond. We won't cancel you. We promise we won't do that to you. We love you. And Mr. Joe, yes, I agree. Some people want to customize the experience. We agree. If you don't like the way that authentic mode works, you can turn it off, right? No problem. We totally agree. It's a setting. Just turn it off. Put it back in student pilot mode. You'll be fine. So, if you want to use ACARS today, you can. It's available as of right now. One thing I want to make clear is that we've gone to incredible lengths to ensure that any developer out there that is integrated with VATSIM or Hoppy can add SayIntentions ACARS support in literally a couple minutes of time for the developer. So it's really, 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 really simple. There are 3 ways that you can use SayIntentions with ACARS today. The first one, let's go through these one at a time here, is option A. We'll call it option A, Flight Sim Messenger. This is the officially supported method of integrating with SayIntentions right now. And again, you can use this immediately. all you have to do is, well, I'll tell you how to get started in a second. Flight Sim Messenger was built by our own developer, Dave Black, to be a drop-in ACARS system that you can use with any aircraft, and it's web-based. And the cool thing about the fact that it's web-based is that you can run it on a tablet. So you can actually put this little ACARS system on your iPad and set it, to the side of your sim, and now you've got a full CPDLC system sitting to the side of your sim in your Cessna 172 if you want. Now that's not totally realistic, but you can definitely do it. No problem. So this is available as of now. It's free, and I'll give you more instructions on how to start using this right now. So you can use this with any aircraft, and you can use it right now. All right, option B. You can use any aircraft out there that has a functioning ACARS CPDLC system as long as it's been fully integrated into SayIntentions.ai, right? And to date, we're now in conversations with, I would say, most of the aircraft makers out there. And if you have not yet seen a SayIntentions integration from your favorite aircraft maker, I'm gonna tell you this. One, please, if you want, you may kindly reach out to them and ask for it. We'll talk about that in a second. But two, I would say please do it in a polite and respectful way, and don't brigade their Discord with requests and things like that. All right, I've been told that I'm pronouncing it wrong. All right. Let's tell me the correct way to pronounce it. By the way, I never once in my entire life have said that I'm the smartest guy in the room. I'm the dumbest guy in the room. Yes, Dave Black from the famous VSR software. That's the guy who is built all of this for SayIntentions. He's done a phenomenal job. It's a wonderful drop-in replacement for the stuff that's already out there. It works really, really well. We'll get Alfred, we'll get something set up where we have a list of officially supported ACARS, not ACARS, ACARS. Okay, all right. I will live with that one and not feel too bad that I completely flubbed it. If you said it was like ACERS or something, I would have felt really stupid. All right. Oh, okay, we got someone else who says ACARS. All right, now I don't know. I'll let you guys fight it out. I'm going to call it CPDLC. that way I don't get in any more trouble here. Or is that pronounced Kupdulk? Okay. I'm going to talk more about B here in just a second, but in option C, I will say that there are some third-party add-ons out there that could very easily shift to making our stuff work without any without too much work. So let me get into this. The first one is we have our first aircraft maker who has completed their integration. I'm going to talk about them here really quick, but I will say that I'm aware of at least two more that are very close. They're basically done and waiting for kind of their next release cycle, right? So, and then there's a handful that are being, fairly slow about it, but have kind of said, yeah, we're going to get it done, and, don't worry, it's coming. And then, just a couple who seem kind of indifferent right now. I won't mention any names along those lines, but we do have our first one. The winner of the aircraft makers who got their Kupdulk system working... I'm a terrible person. Who got their ACARS, Kupdulk, and CPDLC system working with SayIntentions.ai first is Mad Dog Simulations. Congratulations, you guys, with your awesome MD-80. I think it's an MD-82, MD-83. Now fully functioning with SayIntentions. You can use it right now live. Two major aircraft manufacturers are kind of done now and just waiting for their release cycle, but these guys are in the market now. It's live and you can start using it. It's a full ACARS system. It's fully integrated with the SayIntentions Kupdulks. I'm getting way too much mileage out of this joke. I just need to I just need to shut up. It's fully integrated with the SayIntentions CPDLC system. I'm sorry, we're way off the rails now. One cool thing that Mad Dog did, and I understand that there's some other aircraft manufacturers that have done the same thing, but they've actually integrated it with that little auto printer thingy that some of these aircraft have. And you can actually see it right here. That's a printout coming directly off the Mad Dog system of a pre-departure clearance from our thing. And that's actually pretty cool. I'm going to have to order me one of those. Will co-pilot Brian say it the same way? I have to do it now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have to make my guy the dumb one, which would be accurate, by the way. That would be accurate. This is really cool. I did not know that anybody had done anything like this until they showed this to me. Like I said, apparently a couple of the aircraft makers have done this. Yeah, that's Speedy Retreat's Costco receipt. Exactly. I hope it works like a CVS receipt where it comes out about 300 feet in length. That would actually be really funny if we could somehow make it print out coupons and discount codes on the printout there. That would be really funny. Really cool. Again, you can get this today with Mad Dog. It's available now. If you are not flying this aircraft, however, we do have some options for you. Go to SayIntentions.ai. I hate that I have to keep saying this now because I know I'm saying it wrong. /ACARS/ACARS and who cares? Go to SayIntentions.ai/who cares. And there are instructions there. There are links there. There are videos there. If you're saying, gosh, I don't even know how to use one of these who cares systems, you can go to this link, and there's videos that have been done by some of our customers that are wonderful. Wake Vortex did a video that's linked there. Dave Black did a video that's linked there on how to use all of this stuff. And it will also show you and get you linked up to the FSM system, the Flight Sim Messenger system that Dave Black built so that you can start using it right now. Get in there and use it. It's awesome. It works really, really well. It's a lot of fun. It's very immersive, and I think you're gonna love it. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love this. Okay, so this is now one of my favorite questions. Now, what happened to the meow on guard, Vincent? I caved to the pressure, man. We had people complaining, and it's such a funny thing because in real life, if you've ever heard a meow on guard, it goes like this, meow, and then you hear about 6 other pilots respond with meows, and then you hear about 4 other pilots screaming obscenities at the first pilot, and unfortunately ours devolved into the exact same scenario of half the people thinking it's hilarious and the other half the people filing very mean complaints and saying very mean things about the people who were meowing on guard, which means we created, ladies and gentlemen, the most authentic guard experience ever replicated outside of real life. I'm very proud of this, by the way. Yeah, that's right. I turned it off. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, see, we got it right here in the chat room. It annoyed the heck out of me. Half the people are sad it's gone. The other half the people are happy it's gone. This is as real as... Guys, this is highly immersive, even in our chat room right now. All right. So there we go. Try the new SayIntentions Who Cares system today. Just go to that URL. It will get you started, and you're going to love this. Okay? Thank you, everybody. This is what we've got for you today, and next week I'll get another person from our dev community or admin team or moderator team in so you can meet them, but we had enough to talk about today that I decided... Speedy, you can never make that joke again. The cat community is up in paws, apparently. All right, that's enough vectors to final for today. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the new Who Cares system. You're going to love it.